Is Jerry Jones just doing all this to grab attention?
Not at all. I think Jerry Jones is going back to the basics, going back to pre-social media, this instant, urgent mindset that we all have, microwave mentality where we have to do everything so fast. Like the Cleveland Browns got to fire the coach before he even get out the shower just because we got to send out perception and image that we know what we're doing. We're on to the next. Jerry Jones is saying, look, man, if I were trying to grab attention, wouldn't I give y'all more ammunition to fuel this fire of the attention that I'm supposedly seeking? He's just keeping quiet. Two professionals are in the room. Jerry Jones and Jason Garrett sitting there saying, how are we going to land this plane? What's the golden parachute? Reallocation of your services, whatever that may mean. And those are the things that we all grew up respecting. You know, when you got the paper the next day, you found out what happened. You didn't have to find out right then. And now I'm loving Jerry Jones for showing that a team and a regime that people say is dysfunctional at the top is doing things the right way, patiently, and trying to show you that we're not out here for the clout. We're just out here trying to handle business.
I don't buy that, not one bit. I just think that they haven't got their prospect yet. I think he's trying to land a plane, but it ain't the plane of the Dallas Cowboys with him and Jason Garrett at the wheel of it. I think he is really trying to narrow down or conclude negotiations or whatever it is he's going to do with who he believes is going to be the next coach of this team. And until he does that, I have to maintain a relationship with this guy because, and maybe in Jerry's mind, the next best prospect to the guy that I'm trying, or guys, plural, that I'm trying to land is Jason Garrett. I don't want to fracture the relationship. And if I don't land Urban Meyer, if I don't land question marks, whoever the other guy may be, candidates may be, I don't want to be in a situation where it was like, I asked her to the prom. They don't want to go. You want to go? You still want to go? Like, I don't think anybody wants to have that type of situation play out. So I guess I'll change my opinion.
I'm about to say.
Yes, it is for attention. It is for attention. You know why?
What?
It's for attention for public perception because if it doesn't work out with the guys he's trying to bring in, then it looks as though he was going through the process, as Marcellus said, and handled it in a way that was responsible from the top and trying to fix and right the ship.
Yeah, I mean, in Jerry's mind right now, he's not worried about attention or trying to get his brand name out there. He knows that's going to happen just as a byproduct. What he's worried about is he's got his guy, Jason Garrett. Because one thing when I was with the Dallas Cowboys that just struck me when I first arrived is how loyal Jerry Jones is to his guys.
Yeah.
I mean, he has certain guys who are his guys. He will go to bat for them forever, and Jason Garrett is one of his guys. He looks at Jason Garrett like his son. And so this to me is that in his mind, his business mind, he knows they need a refresh, they need new blood, they need to get some excitement going with their team. But at the same time, his heart is conflicting to where he doesn't want to let Jason Garrett go. His worst nightmare, Jerry Jones's, is to see Jason Garrett have success with some other franchise because that's how much Jerry Jones believes in him. And so to me, this is more of a conflict of heart versus what makes business sense. And he's trying to figure out how can I make both work without there being a conflict.
Jerry would be tore up if Garrett went to the XFL and won a title there.
Man, I can't with you, man.
Jason Garrett's a hell of a coach.
Right.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Listen,
Jason Garrett.
48% of me thinks Jerry just likes us talking about him. But there's 52% of me that says Jerry is so shaken by this season. It'll be like me Saturday night if the Patriots somehow win the game.
Well, you're going to be shook.
My whole world will be shaken.
We're all going to feel that.
My whole world will be shaken if that's true.
Yep.
And so I think Jerry, he's doing a legitimate self-audit.
Okay.
That he's in there with Jason. What did I do? What did the organization do? How did we get here? How did we? Because they went into this season like, man, we put together a Super Bowl team. I just did the damnedest. And he's sitting there like, I got to sit here and do an audit and take a week, and it's about going to be 4, 5, 6 days to figure out and do gather as much information from Jason Garrett as possible. And maybe there is an outside chance that Jerry concludes, you know what, Jason, we would like for you to serve as our general manager and help us with the next coach, blah, blah, blah. But 48% of me thinks he just likes the attention, this low draw. 52% of me says he's shaken. and doing a legitimate
There's
self-audit.
no way you can put him back in the head coach's position outside of extraordinary circumstances.
General manager.
We didn't say that. He said
I
general
don't even
manager.
think that. You can't put him in a leadership role. Maybe you could do general manager, but again,
That's what his personality may be for.
And
Man. He's
maybe-
a very analytical, intellectual guy.
and maybe a rebranding of him could help. Maybe that's possible. But in terms of putting him back at the coach's position, once you've taken that level of enforcer of being a leader, of being the coach, and that line is blurred, I just don't think you can go back to that. So if it is a GM's position, a different position, I can see that. But he hasn't named that.
Well, the
hasn't
thing
named
is,
that.
the corporate structure there, Will McClay is actually their active GM. In terms of doing the work, he's VP of player personnel. But
And he's phenomenal.
if you know Will is putting in the work. And
Yeah.
Will is like, I don't need none of this shine. So that's going to be interesting if that is the upstairs role for him. I know that Jerry's not seeking attention because pursuits for any candidates always comes with a leak because it takes your agent or recruiter to get involved. And that person's incentivized to let this story go out there for negotiations and leverage. So I don't even think it's about, let's just sit back here and try and seek attention quietly. What's happening is circumstantial as well. This is a holiday week. Let's just be respectful. LA is beautiful right now. There's not a damn person on the road right now. You know why? No one's working. So in order to make a connection to what's next, maybe you need that connection. Who knows if they're skiing in Vail for the weekend? And your candidate is like, look, I'm not looking forward to any of these opportunities, so there's no deadline. I think this is a patient, professional walk to see what's next after you figure out what you just went through.
Nepotism has crippled that organization. If they continue with the nepotism movement, it will continue to get the same results.
Stephen Jones is amazing.
If you think, how are they amazing?
You don't like Stephen Jones?
If you say he considers
Roster.
Jason Garrett as a son, Stephen Jones is in there. No, it isn't good. He hasn't done a great job. How many Super Bowls do they have? How many Super Bowl appearances have they made?
Well, look,
why
we just
not
went
do
to
it?
a Saints organization you
I'ma
said is
do
done
it.
amazing.
Let's do
and
it.
they only got one. So, look, the Dallas Cowboys do have three. Now, they're archaic.
With Stephen Jones?
No, not with Stephen Jones. But Stephen Jones has constructed a roster that has us up here with the expectations they should win a Super Bowl.
Well, how close have they come?
Listen to this.
With Jason Garrett and Stephen Davis. Stephen
But
Jones.
remember this.
Stephen Jones.
Jerry Jones, he's making, I would imagine, $300 million a year that we know about off of the Dallas Cowboys. And he hasn't won a Super Bowl. So he's, business-wise, in a good shape. He's making more money than any other NFL team.
That's smoke and mirrors.
And listen to this. He wants to keep his role as a GM. If not, he would be looking for a GM right now, and he'd be saying, I'm going to take a step back. Because he's the reason why their team underperformed this year. But this is the exact reason why he loves Jason Garrett. Because Jason Garrett, being his guy, is willing to stand up in front of the media, take all the heat that, by the way, is brought on to the organization because of Jerry Jones and him wanting to do his thing. And Jerry Jones is going crazy because he's thinking, okay, if I bring in somebody else like Urban Meyer, are they going to be willing to do that? Are they going to stand up and take all these darts for the media?
Currently can't lead your team to a divisional crown in the weakest division, arguably, in the NFL.
But man, you know better than anybody.
How does that work?
When you have the owner who is not a football guy or a lady, depending on, constantly meddling in football operations, it's going to constantly cut the legs out.
So
from
you're
under
making
your
my
head
point.
coach.
But
So
you
my
always
point
talk
is
about
Jerry
the same
Jones
point in Washington.
doesn't want to let that
There's
go.
a double bottom line.
It's worse than Dallas.
No, it's a double
Yeah,
bottom
oh, yeah,
line.
oh, yeah.
You want to
Dallas
win
is way
games,
worse.
but you also want to win.
You know
Jerry
what?
already won.
Yeah,
Now he's just
winning
trying to
big.
win games as well, but you can't cut one for the other.
Only thing I'll go back to my 48% though. There are certain people and certain personality types, man, that just love attention all the time. And Jerry Jones, again, the way he handles virtually everything, from post game to midweek radio interviews to the guy loves attention. Dragging out this process. We haven't seen any team do this, particularly with a guy whose contract's up, who's had 9 years, who just had the most disappointing season probably in Jerry Jones's mind. There's no reason not to fire this guy unless you're doing a really deep dive self-audit, or you're just doing something, some more attention grabbing, which, his
He's a master salesman.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. And be sure to check out more of the best clips from Speak For Yourself, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.